So let's keep stress testing ChatGPT-4o. So I have checked out NVIDIA's most recent financial reports, and we are actually a most recent annual report. So if you go to the NVIDIA website, you see at the bottom here the annual report for year 2024 and the annual report for 2023. Note that these are not like the most recent filings. They have more recent, like the most recent quarter we have already seen the revenues numbers, but I still want to do the analysis. Okay, so let's dive right in. This is the NVIDIA 2023 report, and you see here it has 169 pages. And recently I analyzed my dissertation with the same number of pages, and ChatGPT-4o did it beautifully, so it understood every single thing. So I wondered, would it be able to actually extract two annual reports, so the annual report 2023 of NVIDIA and the annual report 2024 with 187 pages. So we have in total like 350 pages or so with one document, the second document, and they are pretty similar, right? If you go to the first few pages, I mean, they have much of the similar language. Yeah, you can check out all these figures. Those figures are, so there's a lot of overlap, right? But oftentimes, if you read an annual report as an investor, you actually want to know the differences. You want to see, like if you go to the 5-year charts, you want to see what has changed, right? Because in 2023, we had a stock price of 170. In 2024, we had a stock price of 487. Now we have a stock price of 1037. So we want to take the previous data, like the annual report. This is qualitative analysis. And I think more and more of financial analysis will center around the qualitative understanding of data rather than the quantitative analysis. Okay, and ChatGPT-4o and following models will be perfect for this kind of exercise. Okay, so let's dive right into it. I copy both annual reports. You see the 2023 and 2024 annual report, and then I just tell it to like analyze or give me a list of the differences of these reports, right? Like new products, revenue, quantifiable and qualitative language use in the different reports, because I don't want to see the similarities. This is like NVIDIA is not static. I want to extract the dynamicity out of those two reports, because this is, I think, where all the value lies, right? If you just analyze a static report, you only get a snapshot. But if you have two snapshots, now you can draw some trends and try to predict the future based on the dynamic content. And this is just to exemplify how we would use this. I think in the future we might see models capable of taking like 20 years of financial reports and trying to predict the future out of those 20 years. There could even be a great app opportunity for any of you guys, if you have any idea, to maybe where it automatically pulls the financial data, the qualitative financial data, all the financial data it can find, and then automatically extract the differences and the dynamic predictions that can be done based on this qualitative data. Okay, so let's ask it the question. Give me a list of differences in these reports, such as new products, revenue, different language, and so on. Yeah, so because we want to predict the future. Okay, ChatGPT-4o starts analyzing. I guess it's doing some kind of retrieval augmented generation where it iteratively searches both reports to find some similarities and differences, and then just gives me the differences. Okay, and now let's go over the notable differences. In the 2023 report, NVIDIA presented the RTX 4080 NVIDIA Hopper GPU architecture. It already launched the H100 Tensor Core GPU, which is now like one of the most successful products of all time. They presented the new GPU architecture named after the first female programmer, Ada Lovelace. And and in the 2024, they already mentioned like GB200 super chip, and they focus on accelerated computing and generative AI as a new technology, right? Generative AI, as far as I know, was not highlighted very much in the 23 report, but in the 24 report. And remember, this is always like going one year back. In 24, it was already obvious generative AI was the big theme. So it already extracted this big theme out of the 24 report, which is nice, right? If you focus on the financials, so the more qualitative data, we can see that the revenue in 2023 was more or less flat, right? The gross margin was down, the operating income was down. So it was not a good year. Actually, if you bought the stock in 23, you can see here, you could have bought the stock for 150, and at its all-time high it was already like 318, so it was twice as high, right? So you could have bought the stock significantly cheaper here, and ChatGPT extracts this kind of information. In the 24 report, it couldn't extract all it didn't seem to extract all the data. Okay, but it's I think it's already fine, but why isn't it extracting it from the 24 report? It should be able to do it, right? So let's ask it for a table so that we can really see the differences at one place, right? So I want to have a table of the differences, one column for the year 23, one column for the year 24, like seeing the differences and then having different kind of dimensions in the various rows, and it should give me both the qualitative and the quantitative differences. Let's see how what it comes up with. Okay, here we have the table already. It summarizes the key differences between those years, and so let's scroll through the table. Does it provide the table somehow? Maybe let's expand the table. Okay, so here we see like the aspect, new products and technologies. So here in 23 we have this RTX 48, and here we have NVLink, for instance, super chips. So, but it wasn't able to actually extract any financial data, it seems, from the 24 report, right? So maybe let's ask it. Please also extract financial information from the 2024 report, e.g. revenue. So this shows that it's not perfect yet, the 4o model. It sometimes does some mistakes, right? It sometimes is not able to process the information, and then it will just hallucinate, right, and give you some like words. But words are often, not very reliable. But it was also very clear, right, to see that here in the one column it gives the specific numbers, in the other column it doesn't give any numbers. So this was kind of an obvious catch. So it's still a bit overwhelmed with the processing. I mean, this is 180 pages, right? So we would need some time to read through the document as well. It is said that Warren Buffett spends like 10 hours or so per day reading annual reports. I think like an AI can do much better. Let's see, what is the reason why they don't extract financial data from the 24 report? Scroll down. Yeah, it's focused a bit on robots. Jensen Huang with robots. Wow, beautiful. So here is financial data, right? There should be financial data. It should be able to extract. Now it got it. Okay, great. Okay, now it redoes the table with a specific revenue number. And now you can already see the revenue in the table is going up, right? Now we have, for instance, revenue of 60.9 billion. So it goes up year over year. They focus on generative AI applications here. You can see here they issued Omniverse Cloud Attention. Omniverse is still a big thing, but generative AI is now the leading technology in the new report. Okay, so this makes sense. Now let's maybe ask it to give some more visual differences, because what I want to do in the end is guide it to predict me the future based on the two reports, and maybe like fill in the blanks or draw the line further, right? Because I give it two data sets and I want to qualitatively infer the third data point out of those two data points which I gave it. So I ask it to use this table to predict another column, but for the next year, for all the categories it gives me. And then also I ask it to give me a chart for the quantifiable metrics like revenue, earnings per share, operating income. Let's see what it comes up with. So we can look at some numbers here. For instance, we see revenue went up from 27 billion to 60.9 billion. So I expect it draws a line like having an increased revenue, maybe not by 126%, but maybe 100%, maybe 80%. So we would do something like this, right, as human beings. Regarding gross margin, we would say, okay, it probably doesn't go from 56.9% to 72.7% to 90%, right? I mean, this could be the logical conclusion, right, if you only have those two data points. But if it has some common sense, it would expect that the gross margin might be like 75% or something reasonable, right? Not like 95% or even more than 100% would be completely impossible, right? So I guess it's, this would be a good test to see how what it predicts as gross margin. So let's see. Okay, I think we have the result. So let's go over the table. In 23, it gives us, in 25, it says, regarding new products and technologies, it will introduce next-gen GPUs and AI chips, great prediction, further advancement in quantum computing hardware, enhanced connectivity solutions. Interesting. As revenue, they predict like 75 billion, up only 23%. So it's a bit more conservative. And as gross margin, they actually assumed now 60%. So they assumed this one was a breakout year, right? And I cannot actually, I think it's reasonable, right? They just take the average here. They assume it's like going back to the median value. It's a regression towards the mean, right? So they assume this was a breakout year and it will just level off a bit. Let's see. I mean, nobody knows the future, right? But I think it's a reasonable prediction to assume gross margin goes back. At least they have not, like they predict revenue goes up because of this breakout year, but so they are bullish, but they are not too bullish, right? I think this would be a reasonable financial advisor would say something like this. As operating income, they assume 12 billion. Like previously it was like 4.2 billion. And operating income, do we have some numbers here? Non-GAAP earnings, no, this was per share, right? Yeah, so I cannot find it now at this point. Okay, let's go back. Yeah, as business models and partnerships, they expect, or ChatGPT-4o expects expansion of cloud partnerships. I also think this will happen. Entry into new markets with AI-driven solutions, for sure. We have already seen in another Finxter video today the new market Sovereign AI. So this has already played out. Increased collaborations for sustainable tech. And strategic focus and qualitative language. They will greater emphasize AI ethics and regulation, continued focus, regulation, you see Sovereign AI, continued focus on sustainability, I also think so. They talk more and more about green data center solution and more AI-driven product developments. I think all of those are pretty clear and pretty correct. Projections and future developments, AI becoming more integrated into daily life in various industries, for further improvements in sustainable and efficient computing technologies. Okay, so I think these are reasonable. So let's have a look at some charts. Revenue going from 27 billion in 23 to 60.9 billion in 24 to 75 billion in 25. The cross margin going from 59% to, here it says not specified, but above it actually specified it, to 60%. And yeah, so it still doesn't seem to figure out the numbers in 24. So extract the not specified numbers from the annual report 2024. So we still need to prompt it to get us the data. I hope that in the future it will be able to read the reports in more detail. So it seems to miss some information here. Maybe it's already overwhelmed with the first report with 160 pages, which is also like a very tough challenge, I have to say. Okay, so first we had some failures. Yeah, it couldn't figure it out, so it needed to iterate on itself. So if there's an error like here, you see, you can click this. It just gives an error, right? And then it just keeps searching, keeps extracting different values. Okay, so it goes over the text. It could not find the figures, but it is now starting to manually analyze the document, right? Here previously it used some code, right? We have seen the analysis here, for instance. You see it used code, like regular expressions, to find like different terms related to the financials, right? Financial report. But obviously, I mean, this is more error prone. Now it uses judgment, in my opinion. Now it goes over this using more qualitative understanding of the work, right? Like retrieval, augmented generation or stuff. Okay, it couldn't do it. So this is like a bit of a fail, right? I would have expected it to be able to give us better data. So maybe let's try something. Let's try uploading the report once more, right? So I upload the report once more. Now extract all data, like cross margin, net income, revenue, data center, and so on from this report, and give me the updated table of differences. Now it seems to be able to do it, yes. Okay, so there seemed to be a mistake, right, with the... Yeah, now it was perfectly able to do it, right? Now it figured it out. Okay, so sometimes you need to iterate a bit. I think this will improve in future versions of ChatGPT for sure. But now it can give me like detailed projections and numbers, and now it even generates the charts that are requested. So don't give up if it initially doesn't work. Usually it takes a bit of iteration. I think this is one of the major rules, cardinal rules of prompt engineering. Don't give up too early, like try to iterate, push further, force the AI to give you answers, and oftentimes it will do so. Okay, now it gives me some predictions. We have some charts. So we have a chart for revenue. You see it seems like a reasonable prediction here, going to 75 billion. We have charts for cross margin. Now it has even assumed the cross margin will improve, probably because it has now understood the annual report, because I also think that cross margin will improve. I mean, it would be reasonable to assume something average like 65 if you know nothing. But if you know something about NVIDIA, you would expect that cross margin will keep improving because of the scarcity of AI chips, right? So operating income basically should increase now. I think this might be a mistake, right? Because if you have more revenue and a higher cross margin, operating income should be increasing. And even like earning per share, they have seen some improvement, right? So there seems to be a mistake. So let's ask it. There was a mistake. Operating income should have increased given that you predicted higher margin and higher revenue, correct? I think that's why it's still important to have humans and prompt engineers to really look at the data and look at the values provided by AI to just confirm whether it makes sense at all. Okay, now it gives me some updated income projections. Increased revenue going up 25%. Cross margin going up, operating income going up as well. Like here we have operating income going up to 40 billion, earnings per share being like $15 or so. Yeah, the others make sense. Okay, so let's end this with a stock prediction, right? Just for fun, or a market cap prediction. Based on these predicted numbers, what would you say is a fair market cap of NVIDIA in 25 if the predictions play out? This would be interesting. Okay, it keeps repeating. Okay, it uses PE ratio, which I think would make sense. I would do the same thing as a human being, right? It says the projected earnings per share is like $15, estimated a reasonable PE ratio. What is a reasonable PE ratio? I think things from first principles would be between 30 and 60, which makes sense given the growth expectations. So we have three scenarios: conservative, moderative, optimistic, with different PE ratios, so price earning ratios. So we just multiply the earning per S number with the PE ratio and multiply it with the total shares outstanding, because now we have an expected share price, right? This gives us the expected share price, and then we multiply with the number of shares to come to the market cap. So we have an expected share price of 15 times 30, like 450 or so it expects, right? And gives us a market cap of 1.1 trillion in the conservative estimate. And in the optimistic estimate, it gives us a market cap of 2.2 trillion. Yeah, so it's 2.2 trillion. So let's have a look at reality. Reality tells us, okay, market cap is already 2.55 trillion. So it is conservative, right? It is like ChatGPT, like you would expect. It is pretty conservative, but I also gave it only the data, the annual reports of 23 and 24. And this doesn't contain the most recent quarter information that has shown that it was a breakout quarter, right? So it didn't know the most recent information. So based on the information I gave it, I think it did a great job. Not too conservative, actually pretty realistic, and it ballpark made a great prediction for the fair value of the stock. And who knows, maybe NVIDIA is even slightly overvalued at these prices. Okay, I think it's a great. I think this was a very insightful live demonstration. If you also thought so, then give me a like and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the Finxter email list. I try to keep you on the right side of change, go to finxter.com, subscribe with your email. We already have 160,000 subscribers that are all on the right side of change, at least those who read my emails regularly, because I keep them updated with the capabilities of AIs and other developments in the space that are vital. Also, if you want to go to the next level in terms of your prompt engineering career, then check out the academy.finxter.com. It's very here. Just type in academy.finxter.com, and you will get sent to this site where we have many courses actually. So let's dive into the most recent courses. Those courses teach you how to use the new novel AI tools like LangGraph, LangChain, Langsmith, among others, right? We have many courses, and each course teaches different set of AI tools to really push your AI engineering skills to the next level, where you can create real-world applications that have far higher leverage than you could have like without the AI skills, only focusing on coding skills. Like if you are a Python coder, then you can definitely put your skills to the next level, and also like not only your skills but your value proposition to the marketplace, because in the upcoming years, companies and employees won't get replaced by AI. They will get replaced by people using AI more efficiently. Right, and these are the exact skills we teach on the Finxter Academy. So check out the academy.finxter.com as well. This is
hello and welcome back to the last part of this course.
This is one video of our expert prompt engineer Dirk, and we have, as I said, we have many courses, and you can check out all courses if you subscribe to the Academy. Okay, thanks for watching, and give us a like, subscribe to the channel. I'm grateful to have you here. I'm grateful for every second of watch time. I would never have expected to talk to that many people. When I did my PhD, talking like to 20 students in a student room. Right now, I'm talking to hundreds of people on YouTube at a time. Sometimes tens of thousands of people, depending on the concrete YouTube video success. Talking to 160,000 people on the Finxter email list that is free. So check it out, finxter.com. So I'm really grateful for every single one of you, and see you in the next video. Bye.